Hey everyone, welcome to Collector Chatter. In today's episode, we're going to talk about how Funko is getting rid of their NFT line, Thrilljoy is not going to be at New York Comic Con, and a ton of drama with this new Goku pop and whatnot. Can't wait to talk about all that and more.
Collecting is the way. Now let's chat.
Hey everyone, welcome back to Collector Chatter. This is episode 141. I am Migs here with Charlie. What is going on, Charlie? What's up, man?
Man, it's gonna be a Debbie Downer of an episode. I feel like, not because of us, but
Come on.
just
Yeah, it's going to be pretty.
there's just a
It's going to
lot.
be a little rough, but we're going to talk about kind of
Yeah.
just.
So
There's
make
a
sure you
lot of
stay and
craziness
listen
happening.
because we have good takes. But I'm just being honest that a lot of the stuff that's going on right now in our world is just not. It's not too peachy keen.
No,
So
not at all. It's been an interesting little bit, and a lot of stuff has happened recently that we haven't been able to talk about. And we definitely want to make sure we give our input. And like Troy said, we're not. It's not that we're necessarily being negative. There's just a lot of dramatic stuff going on, a lot of negativity, and a lot of things that are just insane. Honestly, some of this is getting pretty intense.
insane.
Like I
Agreed.
said in the intro, most of it has to do with Funko. One of the big things is going to be this big leak and rumor, and supposedly Funko NFTs and Droppp no longer will cease to exist. So we're going to talk about kind of what we think about that and what kind of has already come out. Nothing's official yet, but we'll definitely get into that, as well as the Goku pop that, of course, was one of those special edition pops that everyone was all excited about, but it was going to come out on Whatnot. There's one page who seems to be some of the worst people, I think, in this community, and we can't wait to talk about that and all the craziness that's coming out of that. But then we'll also go over to the Thrilljoy side of things, because unfortunately this is more like a sad news type of thing and an update where Thrilljoy came out with a blog post kind of about what's been going on, and they've been a little bit away from things and how they won't be at New York Comic Con, which is definitely a tough thing to hear.
Yeah.
And maybe some other things as well, maybe some other pops and stuff that will be coming out, but we'll see kind of how the episode goes. But we could start it off. We'll start off with the Funko side of things. We'll go through those two news items before we go through Joy. But let's start off with the Droppp news, because
that to me,
obviously that's a big one that kind of
Yeah.
affects us, because we, if you guys have known us, are big supporters of that. The Funko NFTs through Droppp. We have been, I mean, Charlie for sure has been from the originals, like back in the day, Droppp, and I kind of jumped in a few drops later. But we were pretty hardcore. It was a pretty big thing. We've had our ups and downs. We talk about it on here all the time, where like sometimes they didn't do so well. We were upset with things that they did, and then they kind of changed that. The drops sometimes sucked, and they were awesome. It was so up and down. It was a crazy roller coaster ride. But currently, we're in a state where it seems like we may not get any more drops at all.
Yeah.
And I mean, I don't know, what's your initial thought on this? And then we'll kind of just go into most of this is coming off of the back of the Gasselcast, who came out with a couple videos specifically talking about some people who have come out to them and some sources anonymously speaking about how this is going to no longer exist.
Yeah, I'm actually really upset, kind of devastated about it. It's like one of the main things I still collected on a regular basis in the Funko world. It's kind of funny because some people who are fans of the channel, we always used to put out tons of videos. We really kind of stopped doing it. I know Miguel has been a little more picky of what he would buy in the drops, myself included, but I still have been buying them. I just weirdly, just to be completely honest, the days the drops always happen was like work from home days for me, and then that kind of changed. So when they were coming out, they were in the office, and we like to open them like immediately when we buy them. So I kind of just couldn't make videos, but I've still been buying them, and I really have fun with those. I have fun with my wife with them, my kids. Like, I'm really upset this is going away. And sometimes I'm like, did they do it to themselves? Because if this is true, because as we all know, we've been critical where, they were pumping out way too many. They were burning them. People were losing trust. Pops were coming damaged. Like, we know the whole story of it all. And it's just upsetting if that ultimately was the demise of it. But like, I'm really upset. I had a really good, I feel like a niche hardcore fan base that, like, I think this is going to do more damage to Funko than they probably think, even if it's going to help them on the bottom line, if that's why this decision was made. I don't know. I'm upset about it. I'm not happy.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, when I kind of heard it and kind of out of nowhere, and even
Out of
though
nowhere.
we've had, we've seen them kind of go on little runs where maybe there wasn't as many drops coming out. And we're kind of like, what's going on? It's a little weird, whatever. And then all of a sudden we'll get some drops. We're like, clearly it was something that still existed. It's been around for a few years. And like we would still at least get something. We always knew we got our regular holiday type ones and specific ones. And then we would get randomly a new one or maybe a wave 2 or whatever. And it was just kind of like a normal thing. But like you said, I became a little bit more picky just because of collection wise and just too much stuff and everything. So I kind of slowed down, and it was like if I really wanted something, I kind of went to the route of I'll just buy it later once it drops off. I wasn't too big on ripping the packs anymore like I used to do back in the day, because I feel like just that excitement kind of lost it a little bit, lost a little
Yeah.
bit of its luster overall for the company. But there was still some people that were hardcore and they were still doing this, and it was still a big means to like they got every drop or whatever, And we know that as a company, they had a lot of issues early on.
Yeah.
They had a lot of shipping issues. They had like, a lot of stuff that was going
And
on.
I've experienced all those issues.
Yes,
Like,
we've all like whether it's boxes being damaged or not coming on time or missing this or that, whatever. It was always like some chaos stuff, whatever. But they fixed a lot of that. They fixed the packaging that the boxes came in. They fixed the just getting you stuff quicker, and then all of a sudden they didn't. And then there was drops that were not. And this is funny now that we're hearing all this, because then we had a bunch of drops that just weren't shipping, and we were kind of like, what the heck is going on? And now the backs of this news and like this stuff, it's kind of makes you think like, is some of this stuff maybe not even made yet? Like now, because they're like, we're gonna shut this down. Like it's gonna be interesting to see kind of what officially happens, because of course all this stuff is just hearsay and stuff right now. But a lot of signs are pointing that maybe they're just their partnership is no longer going to exist. And before we came on, we were kind of just chopping up like what we were going to talk about, and I did mention something that I started to think about, and I feel like hopefully this is probably more the case than the case that like you were saying, where it's just like they're not going to make these anymore because they don't want to. Obviously, one rumor is the new CEO is coming in and he's just getting rid of the bottom line, like you were saying.
yeah.
Right? Maybe that's the reason. But I started thinking, and I was like, maybe it's Droppp side of things. Maybe their relationship is no longer working. Maybe they've done too many things that mess up things. Like we don't know, but I wouldn't be surprised if it was that, right? Because we know the issues and kind of the friction on certain things sometimes that they've had. But to think that like Funko would just stop making it when I feel like it's something that probably makes some money, because we've talked about this before. These cards clearly don't really cost them money to make, and then they just redeem whatever gets redeemed. They sent that out. I feel like they're making money, especially
I do too.
Didn't it come out like they make money off of the resale?
Yeah, they make money off the secondary market.
Yeah, through their secondary market. So like they had to have been getting money. Like money, I don't think had to be the issue, but no one has really come out and said like exactly what it is. I know Gasolcast said that a lot of their employees were getting like laid off and stuff at like Droppp. So that's what led me to be like, maybe it's like that end of things. But do you like, what are your thoughts on like what I mean, we don't really know what it could be, but
we don't. And also maybe the new leadership, new CEO, like doesn't believe in NFTs. I mean, that could be a thing.
Could be.
Even though I feel like just knowing his background, I don't. It's
like
just,
I feel like he would, right?
Yeah,
That's what we would have thought.
I feel like he would. I don't know. It's just upsetting. Like I said, it's funny. I think I have some drop credit from some of their mistakes that they've made that now I'm never gonna get to spend. I'm just thinking about that right now.
If you have,
dude, they only let you buy packs with it.
Oh, there you go.
Yep.
Well, there's one more drop coming out, right? The villains one, or did it just?
No, the villains one already happened.
That just happened. That was the last one. That's
the other thing that really bothers me about this. And it's funny. The Gasolcast kind of made a comment like everyone always loved the Funko Ween. I think that's like one of your favorites, mine. Like it's always been a staple that's right around the corner. If this really is true, which once again, I mean, I believe the Gasolcast and their sources, to just like end it that way, I
Yeah.
also feel like it's just like an fu to the fans, and they've been doing a lot of stuff like that to their fans. Which is other stuff we'll talk about later in the episode, but to just go out like that, it would be nice if we could have one more drop if it's truly done. But
Yeah, it's
it's just
strange. And it's funny that
weird.
you said that, the Funko Wing thing. So this just came in the mail
I'm still waiting for
literally
mine. You got it?
yesterday. This is the only one I have. This is literally the only one I have.
Another part of the problem.
The Judy. And this is Funko Wing, obviously Series 2. We're obviously in September. Next month's October. So clearly, if there was going to be one, there would be a Funko Wing next month, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, that I wanted to talk about that because that still is one thing that was a big issue, because I know a lot of people in the comments, a lot of big creators, a lot of, influencers and all that kind of stuff. This was a very, what's that word? It was a line and a segment of Funko that was super like split on like people that loved it and
Yep.
people that hated it. And this is like from the beginning and up until now. It wasn't like just out of nowhere. Now, yeah, some people jumped off the bandwagon throughout. Maybe some people jumped on it, but it was very up and down. Like there was both sides. And the side of where the hate was, or just the dislike of it, mostly went around kind of like the process and how
Not
you had to redeem
understanding.
things, and you only got 30 days. Like, why is it only 30 days? And then even though when you do it within 30 days, then you got to wait like this other time. And then they're like, all right, then they're going to ship it out and it's coming out this season, which was always ridiculous. Like whatever.
Yeah.
You had to kind of guess. And then you randomly got an email saying like, oh, this is on its way. And it was always like a year later. And we always said that turnaround was like pretty crazy for like a fan to like really be excited about these things. Because one, like you forget you even had, like I forgot I even had
Even
this.
though they were
this
getting
just
really,
came in.
they were getting really good about the turnaround. Part of the problem, and I'm pretty sure the Funko Weens were this way, which I appreciated, because in the beginning they wouldn't care. And this could be another thing. This is where they could be wasting money for Funko. Like I wasn't thinking about this, but I'll talk out loud. If Funko gets some of their product that comes in their warehouse and their boxes are messed up, they don't care. They still sell them. They give them to retailers. They ship them to you from Funko Shop. Droppp has gotten to a point where they understand their consumers. These are the hardcore collectors. They're spending a lot of money on these drops. When they get these pops mailed to them, they want them to be in pristine condition. And I'm pretty sure the Funko Ween, some of the holiday, the like Christmas ones, I'm trying to think other drop that may have happened too. I think a few more. They've all come damaged. And then they came damaged again. And they don't want to send the product. That's where the whole relationship with Funko Drop. And I know, once again, Chris and Heather kind of said this, and their relationship has always been weird. Like, they're like, Funko doesn't necessarily, they're a partnership with Funko, but I don't think Funko actually owns them. But they kind of work for Funko. The whole thing is weird. Because I also find it funny. Do you remember that one time? Now I'm going off a little bit of a tangent, but it's interesting what could happen with Drop. Remember they came out with their own Monsters line, and then all of a sudden they made those and they never did anything off brand again. We lost our boy Max Token Head. He recently actually just showed up though again in some of the NFTs. Just thought was super weird. He's in the latest Funame ones. But like, I wonder if that just goes back to, like you were saying before, the relationship between the two companies is strained.
Yeah. That's kind of what part of the reason why I said that. I completely agree, because it just got to a point that it seems like there was like a lot of little issues. And like you said, like they didn't necessarily own them. They were like kind of their own thing. They partnered with them, they obviously used them to create these or whatever it was that they used for the NFT side of things, let's say, right? And it just seems like that probably is what maybe is leading to a lot of this, and maybe that company itself just can't keep up with this anymore. Like, who knows? It's like it could be a few of those things. But yeah, it is a sad thing, because that's why I feel like out of nowhere they wouldn't just be like, we're gonna stop making these because we just feel like, we feel like it. But as I said that out loud, I literally want to contradict myself now, because they did that with sodas. They've done
Yes,
that with
I
other
want to bring that
products,
up.
right? So
Yeah.
like it just kind of makes you think that like there's obviously someone making the decision that doesn't think it's gonna be helpful for them to continue on with this, let's say. And a lot of us disagree with it. But like I said, there's some people that don't like NFTs, so they're kind of like, oh, this should have happened a long time ago. So like you're gonna get that part of the community. But I just think overwhelmingly it's just kind of strange and a little weird that it's happening this way. And then another thing, just to say one more part, and then you can kind of finish up if you want, is the whole arcade thing.
Yeah.
Like they obviously released this whole new thing, and it was like Drop Arcade, it's coming out. It was like season one, I said whatever. And obviously, like their top people were kind of getting rewarded, and it was like this whole fun thing, whatever. Now all of a sudden, it's just kind of like, is that just going to stop? And then, like you said, like you have these certain credits that you can use, and it's like now you can't even use them if they're not going to come out with
Yeah.
packs. So like, are you going to get money for that? Probably not. But then it's like, what happens? Like, are they going to fulfill the rest of the drops? Is it just going to be like, sorry? Like,
No
it's going to be,
They
it's going to
have
be kind of
to.
crazy because I feel like they have to. But then in that case, like, they're going to still be around at least for a year. And we're not going to get drops, obviously. But
Exactly.
it's just a really weird scenario with that. Like, whereas their own product, like a soda or like Biddy, if they ever got rid of whatever, right? They could just kind of be like, we're not going to make these anymore. If you see them in the stores, obviously you sell through whatever you have, but that's it. This is like a little different because it's like you used to have drops, you used to have a marketplace that you can buy stuff. Like, is that marketplace just going to suddenly be gone? Can you still buy old marketplace stuff, or is it strictly just like we're just not making any more going forward, like new stuff?
Yeah, I
Which
mean,
I'm
there's no
assuming
way
is
our
probably what it is, but
there's no way our NFTs are going away. Like I know some people are like, "Wait, are we going to lose all the stuff we bought?" Like, no, it lives on the blockchain. That's the whole point of it. It
yeah.
lives there in, I'm going with what you're saying. It's probably just, yep, no more drops. They're going to maintain what they got to do, but maybe something new will come out of it. Hey, they should partner with Thrilljoy. Get some new fans.
Jeez.
But
But yeah, I
I'm
mean, I
upset
don't know.
about it.
Yeah, yeah, it
It's
sucks that even though I slowed down, like it was still something that was fun to see, and especially if there was a drop that like really got me or you excited, we would definitely talk about it. And on here now we're gonna lose a segment that we like to always talk about, like this
yeah,
drop's coming out this week or whatever. We
it's
would
a
always talk
further
about it.
demise of what we say a Funko.
Yes, 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 exactly. Which we're
It's
gonna get
just
to more.
another
We're gonna get to
thing.
more things that we'll talk about specifically with Funko, but it is like on that side of the checklist on the negative, like downhill for Funko type of thing. And it definitely is. Like we've had multiple ones recently. We got new leadership coming in, but it just seems like kind of there's too many of these just coming out now and just getting piled on. So the next one is a little different, but it's still on the negative side of things where it's kind of like we're starting to look at this company kind of more like it's just a mess.
Yeah,
Like, what are the
the
decision
perfect way
makers
of saying it.
thinking? Like, who are these decision makers? Who really was running things? Now we have all this. Obviously, it's been in transition, but like, who's making the decisions of certain things? Like what we're about to talk about right now. Like, was this old leadership? Was this because it was in the middle when there wasn't really like higher ups, or is it this
Yeah,
new leadership? Right. And it, of course, is, if you haven't seen, of course, is the huge drama that has to go on with a pop that released as their special edition. It was a Goku pop. But this one was one of those ones that they were going to release to like a specific person to make it like a special exclusive through them. It wasn't through Funko. It was going to be through them. And it was, of course, this company. I don't know if you want to call them a company, whatever. Evend, who obviously is very, known on the whatnot side of
yeah,
the collecting world. And they have a, big following, big page on whatnot. They do auctions and drops and stuff all the time. And obviously Funko Pops is one of the things that they do. And Funko decided to choose them, no idea why, as like their partner in this, because I knew nothing about them before this.
no,
I know there's other people who have, and supposedly it was a lot of negativity. There was not a lot of good press around them beforehand. And they kind of lived up to that because after getting a hold of this Funko Pop and doing these drops, it just has been complete mayhem
yeah.
and craziness.
I mean, complete mayhem. I think it's piss poor judgment and decision by Funko. I look at it as Funko probably looked at them as like the middleman to do business for them on whatnot, and they just happened to be the seller that they chose. Because I looked to, they have some like ranky, crabby website that just looks like who's going there to buy any pops or other collectibles. But I'm assuming they do well on like Funko Soft. They have a presence on whatnot, and instead of just setting up their own, which personally my take is that is probably something they should be doing. We talk about this all the time, even though One-Up's been around for a decent amount of time now. It's gained this new sense of popularity and urgency when they kind of, I think, made it a little more easier for anyone to sell on there. And other brands have really been using it, and live shopping has kind of exploded. So companies can do it. It's not just like random people like me or Migs selling our collections on there. I mean, Thrilljoy's done it. Rocky Moto, they made a deal with eBay, so they've done it with eBay because eBay has like the same feature. Like Funko, correct me if I'm wrong, they've never done this. Quite frankly, I think I wouldn't be shocked if, you know, a few months down the road, we do see Funko selling their own stuff through their own page, because I think this made them look really bad. They pissed off a lot of loyalists, especially people who are still really into the hobby, because as you say, some, like we talk about all the time, a lot of people have left. Me and Migs haven't left, but it doesn't excite us the way it used to. And they really piss off the people it excites, because once again, they didn't do their homework, and these just look like scammer, shady, whatnot people, which there's plenty of them out there, and Funko should not have done business with them. I could go on a rant about this all day, but it really, really is a bad look.
Yeah. Yeah, that's like the biggest thing is like this, you know, seller obviously, now that they're even bigger out in the forefront because of this
Yeah.
this news, is really getting exposed, and people are starting to now come out and like speak about other instances, and like clearly this is not new. So this seller obviously has done shady practices in the past, and they've kind of been called out on this thing, and it just seems like you said, like Funko really didn't do their due diligence and actual like homework and really vet this company clearly. Who, and that's why I go back to what I said earlier, was like who were these decision makers, or who are these people that are like was it the cousin of one of these guys that works for Evend? Because it's like, why would someone so easily, as a company as big as Funko, like hand over something like this, and it's going to be such a big hype, you know, and have them just completely destroy the reputation, like essentially. And it was just weird to see. That's why when we saw the name, we were like confused, like that's kind of random. Because like I know Whatnot has other, you know, big companies and big pages and stuff, right? And clearly stuff happens sometimes, and we hear things here and there. But like, for instance, like the company Child's Collectibles, right? Everyone kind of knows them. They're a very
Yep.
big company. They sold stuff. I think they even sold maybe something special or an exclusive, and it was a little bit of a mess. Kind of more like like they just, it didn't go well. It wasn't
Yeah.
necessarily like that they were shady and they were like whatever, but like they're known, and that to me made more sense. Like, okay, Funko's going to partner with something like this. That's fine. But when we see this, and then you go into these live streams and you see kind of just even the way they speak and handle themselves, it's just like such a shady practice. I don't know, it's weird. But they were just being really, really weird. They had these pops. There was what, 1,200 total. They were only selling like a very few at MSRP, like very, very, very limited
to get them.
Well, that's let me get to that. Hold on,
Yeah.
because they were actually just selling them first, which is whatever. Okay, you can sell them. If you don't get it, you don't get it. But guess what? Someone got it. That's great. That's the way Whatnot
Yep.
should be, right? If it's not like the auctions the side of things, because we know there's the buy now and there's the auction side of things. Buy now wise, realistically, this wasn't this. This is what's crazy. This pop was an exclusive to them, so that it realistically the 1,200 should have been buy now.
Yeah.
It should have just been sold by them, because
Call it
they're
a
the
day.
ones doing it, and that's it. Now, if they want to take some aside, do some giveaways, even better. Now you're really gonna get love from a company because like now you're selling them at what they're supposed to be, and you're doing your little giveaways. But the second that they even decided to do any type of auction style thing was already kind of shady because it's kind of like now you're taking this, you're going to clearly resell it for higher because people are going to start going crazy because
Yeah.
people are kind of nuts. And now you're profiting off of this. You're essentially a flipper, right? At that point. And you're doing it with this exclusive quote unquote. And it's like, it's crazy. It'd be different if like another random page just happened to buy them themselves and then go and do auctions and flip them, whatever. That's we know that that happens. But guess what? Somebody bought them originally at the regular price, right? And they didn't do that. They did this stupid like crazy chance. Like that was even worse. There was people paying thousands of dollars and they were literally giving people 5, 10, $12 pops and acting like it was totally normal. Oh, cool. Let's move on to, oh, you got this one. Literally pops are not even been, you can't even buy them. Like you can't, like Funko can't even sell them. They have to give them away to Goodwill and stuff.
Yeah.
And that's when it started getting shady when it was like clearly they're just trying to make money. And they were making money because people were
A
paying
lot of money.
a lot of money. And this also didn't just go on once. This was days. Like they have days of these things going on. And it's just very, very, very disappointing because it really tarnishes a lot of like the fun aspect and like what we like Funko and loved Funko for. And to know that it seems like they're not doing anything about it is really what makes them look bad. Not even just this company doing all that shady, stupid shit, because it can happen, but they should have shut that down. Like, there's so many things they could have done where we as a community, I guarantee, would have been way more on Funko's side. And right now, a lot of people aren't. And it's because of how they're reacting to this. And not that they need to come out and do it. They're probably not gonna do a
They
statement or
should
anything.
though. Like,
But
but
like, what the hell are they doing?
that's, I mean, you're right. They don't have to, but to go off of that, they should. Like, this has actually been Funko's biggest problem. They have no idea how to manage their brand. Their PR and marketing is terrible. Their social is non-existent. That shit is important in today's day of age.
Hmm.
Like, come on. Like, and we joke all the time, they'll never have a face again like Mike anymore, Brian. They kind of need to get someone though in this future that can just be their face on the social media aspect of it all. Like, obviously, once again, we use all these brands all the time because like they're forever, at least for me, and I think Makes agrees, they're going to be linked. Thrilljoy, Carissa, at this point, we know Carissa's the face of the marketing for Thrilljoy. She's had whatnots. She's the person who did it.
Hmm.
You know, like I said, for when Filmmaker Inc. with Rocky Moto, when they did their eBay live, you know, Mike, Dave, and Gabby are the ones who did it. V Friends, and we'll talk about that. I mean, they believe in whatnot live shopping like nobody's business.
Hmm.
Gary does it, and he has a team. Funko needs that. They did the half-ass way again, like I said earlier, by doing it through this. Like this was easy. Okay, we'll give you a product. I'm sure they got a decent cut from all the stuff that was sold from them. They're a little nobody shop. Yes, they have a presence on whatnot, but like this is amazing. We're getting a product that people need to only come to us for. They were loving it. Funko took the easy way out, but you know what? It kind of shows where you shouldn't do that because it's really bit them in the ass. And I just this whole situation is terrible. Going off the Droppp topic, and now this just it's another thing to check off on the box of Funko. What are you doing?
Yeah, I know. And it's just like, it's so crazy because like the way they were doing things was clearly shady and messed up, whatever. But like I'm like reading a lot of comments and stuff as we're like going through this, and just like things that are coming up is also like they clearly like you're not really supposed to, like, I'm assuming like, gambling, whatever, like whatnot wise is not supposed to happen. So in the sense of like you can do auctions, you can do things like that. But like the way they were doing these like tickets and you had a chance for this, whatever, like that already seemed kind of like shady practice. Even like let's
Yes.
go now, not just Funko, like why is whatnot allowing some of this stuff to happen? Because that also seemed like an issue. So it really just seems like it's a lot of them, like what's going on. But there's a lot of word and like things going out around there that supposedly like this company is very tied to Whatnot, so much so that they may have stake in Whatnot. This is another comment that I'm seeing now that kind of is bringing this up. And it really makes you think like this is crazy if that's the case, because then that just takes Whatnot and their reputation, and
Yeah.
like they now will become like, we already had its issues in the past, right? Where people kind of were like, oh, Whatnot seems a little shady, is whatever. But it kind of seemed more like it was the seller just kind of getting by doing stupid shit, and like, they would kind of try to police it as much as they could, right? Because obviously sometimes they can't do it. There's a lot of sellers now at this point. Like Whatnot has gotten pretty big, but I'm seeing like multiple things now, like something about whatever Evend is maybe somehow connected to
Dude,
this.
okay, sorry. They're legitimately on Whatnot right now selling tickets again for this pop
Well,
as we
yeah, they've been
speak.
doing it for days. They're
Like,
doing
still
it.
going on. Sorry, not to
But
interrupt
how
you.
many people are on there?
Almost 600.
Oh, okay. Because there was a
The
day not that long ago that supposedly was a very low number. Because remember, it was like thousands that first
It's
day.
funny too. Once again, I didn't necessarily do all my homework on this. That's why I went on here real quick. I've been saying this whole time. I know they're a big seller, but like they are pretty big. I mean, they've sold almost 900,000 product
Mhm.
items on their channel. They have a pretty big following. It's clearly why Funko picked them. They probably were like, okay, they probably sell more Funko as a brand out of anyone on Whatnot.
Mhm.
Let's just go to them. And that does make me feel like you're probably right. There could be something going on with Whatnot with them as well.
Yeah, especially in that time. And but the thing is like that also, it's crazy. It's the world we live in, and this is kind of the way it is. But like a seller like that who obviously puts up sales and is getting the company money, right? Like a company like Whatnot or a company like Funko, who is providing these things, it gives them the opportunity to just kind of turn the other cheek and just kind of be like,
Yeah.
oh, we're gonna make money, it's whatever. Let them do
Yeah.
how they're gonna do it, right? And it's just like that's a whole nother issue, and that just kind of like throws it back to again where Funko itself is really in a weird state where they're making crazy decisions that to me just do not make sense and are not helping them and are really ruining a lot of their fans and their loyal people who have spent tons of money, and they're losing a lot of that. They already have been losing a lot of that with other stuff that has happened, changing and what they're releasing and not doing this and issues with that. And it's just like there's too many on this list now, like we talked about from the last um first segment of this. Is like this is another thing on that negative side of the list now, and it's just like what the heck is going on. And I'm starting to lose faith because it's just does not seem like they really care. That's honestly
No.
like kind of what it's coming down to. And it's really messed up. It's crazy. And there's a lot of people that are disappointed by this. And, putting that company aside, and obviously they have, like you said, they still sell a ton of stuff. Like, granted, like I went on to one of the days, I went on for maybe like 15, 20 minutes just to kind of see what was going on. I was not going to try to buy anything, whatever, but I went on just to see. And they were, auctioning off just tons of pops, nothing to do with the Goku. Obviously, that was still a thing. They
Yep.
would randomly throw it in as a giveaway, but there's like thousands of people on there, so the chance is ridiculous. But they were putting up pops, and the pops were going for cheap, decent prices, because they were just random commons
Yep.
or random some stuff that was a little bit better than common, but most of the people were in there really for this pop, right? So like probably got a chance to buy something for pretty cheap. So clearly they sell and they have tons of products. Like now that makes you think like where are they getting all this inventory from? But like it just makes you seem like there has to be a connection to, exactly like you said, to Whatnot or whatever it is. But if you guys know any of this or know if there is, like definitely let us know, because again, I'm just going off of a few comments and I've seen something similar multiple times that ties this person and somehow being connected to Whatnot. Then again, I don't know who like really runs Event. I've seen like two different people during these like little streams, so I don't know who their like main people are.
Yeah.
But a quick thing to kind of just throw it back onto them and how shitty they are is that like when people were going on because they were upset, anyone that was basically saying anything that had to do with like how this was kind of shady and it was messed up was being banned instantly. And it's kind of like, what are you doing? Like,
Yeah, they're
where
just
is it
bad
that people can't?
vibes.
Why can't people just say things? And then, if they want to just speak the truth and kind of,
That
and
comes
you
with the
can't take
territory.
it, yeah, you can't take that. Like, you shouldn't be doing those stupid shady shit, because now you're making it seem worse by like just
Yeah,
banning people and kicking people out, and it's crazy.
because I hopped in it too, like one of them, and like they are everything I hate about Whatnot. Like, there's a lot I love, but like their channel as a whole reminds me a lot of like crappy, shady card breakers that I don't like.
Mhm.
Like that's was their vibe they were giving off. They're laughing on the other end of the camera. They know they're screwing the people over who are buying them. And like once again, that's not something Funko should want to be associated with. I will tell you though, I'm pretty sure they learned their lesson from this.
Funko.
I don't yeah, I don't think they'll repeat this mistake unless they've
Well,
already made a deal. Like
yeah, they clearly have a deal, because now they're also going to drop a
the
General
General
Grievous
Grievous,
pop,
yeah,
which
which
is going to be
sucks.
through them. It's going to be crazy. It's going to be annoying. It's going to be stupid.
Yep.
And now the Goku was 1,200. The General Grievous is 9,500. So, like, how are they going to get rid of that?
Yeah.
Like, they're only going to do like 2 at a time, and it's going to last freaking months or something. Like, it's going to be ridiculous. But a lot of the community, especially the ones that are against this and are really upset with what's going on, are really trying to boycott it and like, don't buy from them, don't do this, whatever. And it seems like, especially from that first day till now, like there does seem to be a lot less people,
It worked a little.
buying and like and actually doing it. So maybe that's working, but who knows where that's going to go from here. But yeah, it's craziness. But definitely comment down below. Let us know what you guys
Yeah.
think on both of these Funko topics, specifically with the drop, and what do you think's going on with that? Are you upset about if they do happen to, no longer, and cut ties with Drop and not make NFTs? And then obviously this side of things and the chaos and the craziness with this Goku pop and what's going on. And, it's like now you can't even get that pop now. It's just being sold for like the ridiculous prices out there now, just
I
based
know.
off of this. It's
It's
crazy.
crazy.
But yeah, let us know down below. And if you haven't already, please make sure you like this video as well before we get into anything else. Really appreciate you guys. But let's switch things up. We're going to go into Thrilljoy, because this is, again, sad news. We kind of really didn't want this to be a reality. Me and Charlie talk every day, and a while back we kind of started hearing rumors, and we started talking about like, what's going on with like Thrilljoy and New York Comic Con specifically. And there was rumors that they weren't going to be there, and we're like, that doesn't make sense, that's crazy. And they just had their block party in San Diego, and we of course are going to New York Comic Con, so we were excited for like, maybe there's going to be an event here. There has to be something, right? Their booth has been amazing. One at the launch at New York Comic Con, which we were at least able to go to, which was great last year. And then they had the same type of booth at San Diego, and it looked great again. And they were like the talk of the town type of thing,
Yeah.
where we knew like Funko didn't look so great. Thrilljoy's booth looked amazing. Brian was killing it over there. Chris was out there. They have tons of people out, and it was fun. And we were hearing rumors, and now they officially did come out with a blog post. This was a couple days ago now, kind of talking about what's been going on, why they've kind of been a bit MIA in social media and that kind of thing, and what has happened and what's going to happen when it comes to specifically like New York Comic Con and kind of their drops and stuff going forward. So we'll kind of go through the what's it called, the blog.
Yeah.
I don't know. Do you have it pulled up? I have it pulled up. I don't know if you.
I don't, but I'll pull it
No.
up.
Okay. So I could start up a little bit here, and then we'll kind of run through some of the stuff. So, I'll read a little bit of what they said. So we know it's been quiet since SDCC, and you've been patiently waiting for updates on the next picks drop, because they really didn't say much about that. The Block Party and NYCC. It wasn't our intention to keep you in the dark. We've been doing everything possible behind the scenes to lock things in so we could bring you good news. But unfortunately, today's update is a mix. Though realities and silver linings, tough realities and silver linings. So basically, one of the biggest things is kind of the fact that they stated they're not going to be at New York Comic Con. There will not be a booth. There will not be an event like the block party, let's say, right? very specific to why is because after San Diego Comic-Con, there was very bad natural disasters and weather that kind of hit a lot of Asian countries, and it so happened to be kind of where their biggest like factories were and the people that they partner with, specifically in China, who are making a lot of these products. It's not the first time that we've kind of seen an issue with like production in China and things like that. The first time was obviously with the Megapix. If you guys don't remember,
Yeah.
first Megapix came out, and then they weren't able to really get them in time. Then the prices went up because pricing was going to be higher. Brian heard all the backlash, said, "No, screw that. I'm going to bring it back down." But then they kind of disappeared and they stopped making the Megapix. So it kind of sucked, right? So now they're kind of back into that. So we had a lot of severe flooding that supposedly like damaged a lot of stuff, whether it's like product or things like that. But it was mostly like a lot of their stuff was okay. Everyone was okay. Most importantly, that's a big thing. Obviously, the people that work there and everything. But they kind of lost a lot of what they were getting ready to bring to New York Comic Con. The biggest thing was obviously their boxes of stuff for what they like to call an October block party. So clearly they were going to have another one. This was going to be their thing. It wasn't like really officially announced about that until now. We finally started seeing like, yeah, they were going to do that, which kind of sucks to hear that they are not able to do it. Another big thing was that New York Comic Con is also their birthday, right? Because that's when they kind of were first created and came out, and it was going to be their year anniversary.
We're gonna have a party for Blue.
Exactly. We're going to do a party for Blue. They were going to do a lot of stuff. Like it was going to be big. And it seems like now because of what happened with the disaster, they're not able to do it. But you can go on with the rest. Kind of like what is going to happen though now, because they're obviously not going to do that.
Yeah. So what they're going to be doing now is, Chris and Brian are still going to be there. They're going to have a Whatnot stage. They're going to be on there. They're
on the Whatnot stage,
yeah. They're going to be on there talking Thursday at the con. So we're definitely going to be there to watch that. But they did say, and they're not necessarily saying if it's going to be new stuff or just other things. We're going to have giveaways and signings, and they're going to be at some of their partners at $7 a pop and Toy Temple. So Thrilljoy is going to have some sort of a presence there, but obviously, as Mike said, it's just not going to be what it was supposed to be, what we were really hoping for. This is like major bummer of news, like for us. Like I can't even. I'm like upset. I'm like thinking about New York Comic Con. I'm like, we were excited for this. And
yes,
it's like
I know.
Nothing that we were excited for seems to probably be happening. Which really stinks. And I hate to say this, like I know this is out of their control. It's great everyone's safe and okay. I think this is going to be like a major buzzkill for Thrilljoy as a brand. Like they needed bad, this.
Like speed bump for them.
Yeah.
Like bad. One that really would hurt.
Because this is where they thrive. We say this every time after they've been at an event. They're electric. They know what they're doing. It works. Their new product, with it being mystery style, people are ripping them like crazy. Everyone's talking about it. They're walking. We haven't gotten to experience that yet because we only, the original Pixels were mystery. It's not the same.
No.
And like, yes, do a lot of people who go to San Diego Comic-Con also go to New York Comic-Con? Yes, but excuse me, think about like me and Megs, who are huge collectors. I mean, we do this podcast, but we're not necessarily just going to travel there. We have families, we have other stuff going. It's not our job, so like we don't have to do it. There's plenty of people like us who this is going to be their experience with Thrilljoy, and like it's just not going to be there. So it's a bummer.
Yeah, it sucks. It sucks because getting back to what you said, and I completely want to double down on it, is that we're so excited obviously for New York Comic Con, but we were really excited for New York Comic Con for a lot of specific things, and this was one of them. There's a few other ones, but like this was one of them, and it was like getting to experience the booth again, getting to see Brian, Carissa, everyone that will be there, tons of content creators, people that we're cool and friends with. Specifically with Thrilljoy and being able to rip open things, and like you said, we went there for the inception of this company,
Yeah.
essentially, when they had the original big frame versions, and people were still ripping those open and getting them signed,
Yeah.
and like it was a little tough to do, but we were still doing it,
It was
right?
so cool.
And it was still like a fun thing. These are like a perfect way to like, all right, quickly open it up, do a little mystery thing, tear into the thrill, do all that kind of stuff. Like being a part of that was going to be massive. And to me, I mean, I'm a little biased because we're on the East Coast, but like to me, New York Comic Con is where it's at. Like obviously, I know
Yeah.
San Diego has its people and its thing. We've never actually been there, but like to me, New York Comic Con is great, and they fit the New York Comic Con, and that's kind of where they started. So we knew this was going to be another good one, and that's just them having a booth. That's not just the event thing, right?
Yeah.
The event, obviously, we obviously had an episode talking about that, and there was positives, there was negatives, there was a lot of. I'm sure they were going to fix a lot of those things maybe that went wrong in this one, and make this an even better event. So I was kind of excited for that aspect
We
of it
were
because I
making a
was
point.
like,
We were going to this event.
I was like, this is going to be even better because they're gonna make sure they don't do the same stuff that
Yeah.
happened, right? And it was going to be even doubling down on it being great, but the fact that they're not even going to be at a booth is kind of tough. Now, obviously, like you said, they're gonna have their product there. They're gonna be at partners. They're still gonna be there, so still a chance to meet them. It's a little
It's not
different.
the same.
It's not what we really wish, and I'm sure it's not what they wish either. Obviously, we're not the only ones here that are hurting from this. Of course, they are. This hopefully is not losing them a lot of money and like really, really hurting them where like they're gonna have to take a step back. I hope that doesn't happen. But it does seem like it kind of, like you said, it's something that will definitely slow them down in a sense. Like it's a big wall that they just hit. Now they're like, damn, their momentum was really growing,
Yeah.
and now they're gonna have to probably get it back again, right? And not that they can't do that without an event or being at Comic Con. Like clearly they can, but like you said, they killed it when they were at events and at Comic Cons. So like that was always when the biggest hype of Thrilljoy was. So with that being said, they still are coming out with product, and they still have some stuff down the pipeline. And obviously, like a big one is they're really doubling down on like the horror side of things. They've
Yeah.
kind of
Which is
already
cool.
always been a pretty big on the horror thing, of course. But Conjuring specifically is like something that they clearly really want to. I'm assuming Brian really loves Conjuring series.
Yeah.
I do as well, of course. One of my favorite movies is the first Conjuring of all time, but they're going to come down with some more characters. They did announce, because I don't want to say this, they did announce the Crooked Man, they announced Bathsheba, and they announced the Nun to kind of coincide with the Annabelle that they already have. All super cool, great, awesome looking chases. They're up on like pre-order. A couple of them aren't out yet, but actually the Crooked Man already sold out. So like a lot of people were very excited about that one, clearly. Those all went on like the pre-sale that they do
Yeah.
this past Friday last week. And then now like they're trying to hype up this big, like the next picks drop, which is going to be September 19th. So September 19th is where I think we'll start getting reveals throughout that week, where it's kind of one of those bigger drops that we've been seeing them
Yes.
do, where we see like maybe 5 or so different ones come out. Actually on their page, they already hinted towards one, and it's Brian's favorite.
Yes.
Which of course is like Hanna-Barbera style stuff, and I think it's like a Wacky Racers
Yeah.
specific character that I think they're going to be doing, which is kind of cool, and it makes sense. Obviously, we know that he loves that, so like if we start seeing some of those, hopefully it's not just only those
I feel like there's going
announced
to
on
be a
this drop.
mixture, which they've
Yeah, but
always
most
done
of the
good
time they
with.
do the mix. So yeah, hopefully we get some other stuff that's also pretty cool and exciting. But they've been doing great stuff. Their products have been great. This design is perfect. The pixels are great too. Like they're both like
Yep.
awesome. They're actually going to do Conjuring pixels as well,
Which is awesome.
which I didn't mention, which is cool. So like they've been hitting it out of the park with the products. They're doing great stuff with that. These are great, and the ones that they've been announcing have all been really cool. They're different. They're like kind of all over the place on the collecting scale and like fandoms and stuff. But this just is still such a bummer, and it's just really hard to like be excited when that part is gonna be missing with like the booth and with like the event and experience and everything. But I'm sure it'll still be great. I mean, if we get a chance to still speak to Brian again at all, like we did the last time, I'm sure it'll still be we'll still probably be like, wow, this was still a great, New
Of
York Comic Con, et
course.
cetera,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
But
It's
yeah,
not.
it's
It's
just a hard one. And obviously they're taking it, as well as they can. I'm sure they haven't really been big on social media since then. It's been pretty quiet. But then they announced a couple of these Conjuring things, and they're just gonna kind of say, we're gonna get back to it. We're gonna, hopefully everything works out that they're able to really figure out, what happened with everything that's over in China and doesn't affect more of their like product lines
yeah.
and stuff. Like I hope that doesn't happen. But they're kind of looking forward to this whole September 19th drop. One pop or pop, wow, I call it a pop. One picks that it seems like did get affected is one that they announced that like Alistair one. It's
Yes.
being pushed back. So that does seem like something that specifically was maybe, I don't know if it got ruined or whatever it was, but they're still obviously going to make it, but it does look like it's delayed right now. Unfortunately, which kind of is tough.
Stinks.
And like I said, that happened with the Megapix. We had that situation where something was delayed, and then so it kind of sucks. That's the world we live in when you got to go overseas to just make products. It's kind of the way it is, especially with collectibles and toys and
Yeah.
stuff. It's just the cheaper option. You just kind of have to do it. But unfortunately, these kind of things also happen. But yeah, what do you think? Kind of like,
Yeah.
I mean, besides the fact that obviously we're both bummed about this, but hopefully this doesn't like really hurt them. And I will say, I like that and we always used to crack on their blogs and like the way they
Yep.
said things and whatever. But like, I like that they do come out right away and talk about things,
100%.
whether it's good, bad, or indifferent. They're on it and they're about their community. They're about their fans, and they do what other companies should all be doing. And
Yeah.
that I will say, I have to hand it to them.
Thrilljoy only keeps getting better and better. Like we say this all the time, and I agree with you. Like, yeah, we joke around the blogs, but like this blog was good. I feel like they have actually found their voice. They've worked around it. They've changed some things.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, I love that. I'm not the horror guy like you are, but these new products, I love that they're coming out. They're coming out around the right time as well, which I like. People get excited for Halloween.
Yep.
I like that they, strategically did that. But yeah, I'm just like I'm not at a loss for words. I'm just really am upset about this genuinely. Because yeah, it's gonna I feel like this Comic-Con, not to talk about Dojo anymore, but this Comic-Con in general got all this Funko issues. We got all these Thrilljoy problems now. We're not sure what's going on with Rocky Moto. Like, I don't know if you even noticed, like, we know we did talk about this. Like, Diss Trackers showed the map of New York Comic Con.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
Yeah.
First off, Funko's not where they normally are, and they've split
Yeah, that
themselves
was
from
weird.
Loungefly and
Like a
from
little corner
Mondo,
in the
which is the
opposite
way
corner.
it used to be when they weren't like super dominant. It's weird. Like I Comic Con's gonna be different this year, I think.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting. Yeah, they obviously put that post because like a big thing was like Walmart's gonna have like a massive, which is very random, but like they're gonna have a massive booth, and a lot of the other big regulars will be there. Obviously, Whatnot's also gonna have a booth. Clearly, we saw that. I'm sure like eBay will, and $7 a pop always has a big booth and stuff like that. But yeah, it's gonna be weird. I mean, we kind of already, we spoke on the side, kind of like what our expectation of like kind of like what we plan on doing when we go to Comic-Con and what kind of our goal is to get out of this Comic-Con, like as a as collector chatter and as content creators and stuff like that. Like we already kind of were going to take a little bit different of an approach to the con than we usually do, but now this is kind of making it seem like it's going to be easier to do that because we're not going to be so gun ho on like I gotta buy this, I gotta get this. Like now we're gonna kind of just be able to just chill.
I was just thinking to myself, I was
Like,
joking. It's not a bad thing because it's always good to not spend as much money. But I'm like,
of course,
I don't really know what I'm gonna want to buy here this year. I think the V Friends booth. That's probably really it, which is kind of funny. Which I'm curious if they're gonna announce a partnership with any of these collectible brands with a new figure, maybe Funko. I know
that, and they would have seen some by now. I feel like,
yeah, you would think.
Yeah. But yeah, it's true. It's gonna be different. I mean, we're still gonna enjoy it. It's gonna be fun, and still a lot of other things. Clearly, it's not only Funko, only Thrilljoy, etc. But these were our big fandoms. These were big things that we did really get excited for getting and buying and, you know, collecting and whatever. And like you said, Rakimoto, you know, we don't really know what's going on with Rakimoto specifically. Like, will they have a booth or will they not? But, you know, hopefully we get more information on
Yeah.
that. But they have been a little quiet. So that is something that kind of worried us a little bit on kind of like, you know, what's kind of going on there. And more recently, they've been posting a few things and actually just got their t-shirt in the mail the other day, the one that we ordered, the black one. That was it's really cool. So that was fun. But I'm hoping to see more of their products out. That's kind of the only thing. I haven't really seen a lot of those waves out, so it's kind of interesting to see why the minisos aren't really all picking them up yet. But hopefully we start seeing that out in the wild. And speaking of Rakimoto, they did announce the Snoopy wave, and that set will supposed to be like starting to hit minisos now. So definitely check them out, your local one if you have one, because they should be getting those. But they do have an interesting drop I don't even want to talk about, which kind of out of nowhere and like they haven't talked about it. It's only like the disc trackers and the Funko fighters and those people of the world. But yeah, I don't even want to talk about that because that's an interesting one.
Well, it's funny. They did. So this is one that they did announce. They teased it at one of their panels.
Like this will be coming out type of thing.
Which I didn't think it would be like for a pretty long time. Like I didn't think we'd be like, okay, you can go buy these already.
Well, they're on pre-order. So
no, I know they're on pre-order, but I'm trying to pull up the post if it says like when they are available to get. No, it doesn't. So it's Domo. Like I don't. It's hard to explain. You know those little, for people who aren't familiar with what they are, like those little monster-looking guys, and they.
Yeah, I don't know much about them, but I've seen them.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
I definitely have seen these.
This was on one of their licenses. They, like I said, they announced this. I think this got first announced at Anime Con.
Okay.
I could be wrong with that. It could have been their first event at WonderCon, but I think it was Anime. But yeah, these look awesome. This is gonna go back with like we've joked like which do we like better? Do we like knowing it's either the normal or the surprise, or this one is kind of like the Pop Marts of the world or Miniso with their own figures. You don't know what you're gonna get in it, like multiple options. I think that's the better way to go. I actually think it's better business for them as well, just because I feel people will buy more. But yeah, like I found it weird that Dish Trackers posted this, but I mean, I guess it's on Entertainment Earth.
Yeah, which is where the pre-order is through. It's like not exclusive to them, but that's where they're gonna get them.
But it's weird that like Rakimoto hasn't talked about it.
Yeah,
like
especially because it's on pre-order. It'd be different if Dish Trackers.
Yes,
Dish Tracker post stuff before all the time. Post like coming soon, like the Domo, whatever, and then you'd be like, all right, cool. And then Rakimoto will obviously announce it or something like that, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, that is strange.
But I mean, I'm excited for these, even though like once again, like I just like their product. We talk about it all the time.
Yeah.
I do though wish, and you know, maybe it's coming down the pipeline. Maybe it's gonna be this way for a little. I wish they were be a little more readily available. I've even had some people message me, basically being like, "I don't really know where to get them. I don't have them any, so buy me." And you know, I know on their website it does say, Rakimoto's website, like collectibles are coming soon, and you know, I don't know if they
can't like buy anything there.
Yeah, but you can't buy anything yet. I'm assuming, once again, we've talked about this. We don't know this. No one's ever told us, but they probably did a first run of distribution with Miniso. Now it's obviously branching out because you can get some from Entertainment Earth. I think Toy Temple has had them, a few other, but I do personally wish they were a little more easier to get. Like, you know, don't hate me for saying this, but get them from Amazon or Target or something, or I don't know. Like, I feel like you get in more hands of people.
I agree because it's not as easily accessible at Miniso. I just wish because Miniso doesn't do this, that they had like an online presence.
Agree. If they did, that would be fine.
It'd be fine. Because I don't know if I would love it being at the Amazons of the world and Targets and Walmarts and stuff like that, because I kind of liked a little bit more of an exclusivity to it.
I wish Miniso had a website.
But yeah, exactly, which they do, but it's very just like, okay,
It's weird.
we have these products, whatever. You can't buy anything through there, whatever. It tells you where the nearest one is, type of thing. So, but I want to point something out. I mentioned this before, but this kind of really doubles down on that. And you mentioned like how you like this whole like Miniso style, blind box style thing where it really is one cup, you can get anything, and there's like multiple variants of like rarities. But I'm pretty sure the last time we spoke about this, I mentioned it. And now seeing this, it's almost like guaranteed now at this point. The IP stuff is all like this.
Yep.
The original character stuff is the ones that's like that one character will have one and a surprise. That one character have one and a surprise. And it seems like that's what you're doing. If it is, that's perfect. I think that
I
is
do agree
the
to that,
way it
actually.
should go. I don't think the original characters should have, because it's cool to see different versions of them.
And
I
you
don't think
wanna
they
get
need to
them.
be all in one
Yep.
kind of cup. Yeah, you can kind of just get them all, whatever's a little easier. But these so far, like obviously the Godzilla one specifically, the Snoopy one, and now we're seeing this Domo one. That's the way they're doing it. It's one cup. You have a chance to get some look kind of like normal, some look sitting down like surprise. This one's kind of cool because they all have like the ramen noodles, just some are standing, some are sitting, but they're different colors. There's obviously variations to that. There's that like clear looking one, which obviously like Snoopy did that as well. So even actually that seems like it's going to be on all of them too, because the Godzilla one has it as well. So it does seem like that's what it is. And so far, 3 for 3. I mean, come on, at that point, I feel like
I didn't even think
that's
of
what
it.
they're going to do. But yeah, I did want to mention that because I know we have talked about that for sure in the past, and it kind of does seem like it's something that is happening. So hopefully it is, because I like that. It's definitely a better
I
way
completely agree
to do these drops.
And you're right. The more I think about it, I shouldn't have said that. I don't want Avatar targets to the world to get them, but I just want them more readily available.
Yes. I agree with that, because even at my mini, so like it still was only wave 1. I didn't see any of the newer ones yet. They're very limited. They kind of put them at the bottom shelf. Like, I don't know if that's just something that's store by store type of thing, but I would love them to have like a display. Like Miniso has great wall displays and certain tables that have like nice setups and stuff. Like they, clearly other products that they sell do that. Like Rakimoto deserves something like that. Like, kind of out there, which is really cool. Or even, maybe it might cost a little money, but it'd be cool, is getting like that little vending style machine thing that they did at the Comic-Con, like in one of those stores.
I agree.
Because there's like a whole Cup of Fun ramen, like, like I'm sure I've never been to Japan, but I'm assuming, I think I've seen in movies or shows that like they have those like cup noodle vending machines and things like that, right? So like it should totally be that thing. Like that'd be so really cool, actually.
It would be,
instead of just being on a small little box on a random table or bottom shelf.
Because I think, now the more I think about it, Miniso's done them a little dirty.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. And again, this is like ours. Like again, there's other Minisos out there, and clearly maybe their setups are different at bigger flagship stores or something. I don't know, but
I even like I've been like the flagship New York City store was good for like a few weeks, and then I was like,
when that launch happened,
then the problem is they just have so much product coming in and out.
Yeah, it's so many different types of blind box things. It's wild.
Moral of the story is we're excited. We just want these to be more early available. But like, I mean, I have pushed some people. I told them like Entertainment Earth go, because they did have excuse me, they had the Snoopy, they had the Domo ones down. But it's funny. One thing that they're doing, which I do not like, and I'm curious if you saw this, and I do want to talk about this real quick. If you were to order Wave 2 on Entertainment Earth, you have no idea what character you're getting.
Like, at all?
No, you're buying a Wave 2 product.
Oh, that's kind of weird.
Yeah.
See, like that, okay, that's like the blind thing. I guess it's kind of cool, but like it's kind of weird. Like that doesn't make sense.
It is weird.
Like you're not going to get the same character, at least a different character,
You would hope if you bought multiples, they wouldn't do that to you, but then it's almost like
same one.
They're treating it then as if they all were a mystery, and you have no idea which one you're going to get.
It just seems weird. Like that's not the way it was supposed to be. So kind of strange, but yeah, I don't know. That's definitely something to think about. But Rakimoto, we're excited for, of course. Hopefully we get some more stuff coming from them for sure, because we love everything that they've been doing. We love that company. We love everyone that's running that, everything, social media side of things. They have been very, very great across the board. That is for sure. Very supportive of us as well, as we always say, which we love that as well. Thank you guys.
Thank you.
And then I did want to go to a pop thing, before we end here, just because it's all everyone's talking about. It's the big thing, and we talked about it last time because it was announced that there was gonna be a big drop. Funko did like a post specifically saying like we're gonna be dropping the line for this, and then we got some concept art and whatever, and then finally now we have the official stuff. So through Funko, through Entertainment Earth, through your lovely Amazon, you can actually order. You can order the K-pop Demon Hunter pops. So now we actually seen them. So I did want to just mention it because I want to just keep saying K-pop Demon Hunters. Let's put us into the algorithm. K-pop Demon Hunters. So hey, you gotta try,
You gotta try. I agree.
But yeah, I actually, since the last time we spoke,
Demon Hunters.
Yes, since the last time we spoke, I actually did watch K-pop Demon Hunters on Netflix, and actually finally was able to like fully watch it because I tried to start
actually watch it.
Yeah, you need to. I started it with my wife and my daughter, who my daughter's 6, and she knows all the songs. She already knew all the songs, and listens to all the songs, but never watched the movie. I tried to watch it with her, and it was a little too scary for her. I mean, it's not really scary, but like she just was a little weird with the demon stuff, and she just didn't want to watch it. So then we stopped, and the music's obviously everywhere, and I was like, oh, I'm getting into this, catching, I know the words, and I'm like, I gotta watch this though. And so then I watched it, and me and my wife watched it and loved it. I loved it. Very, very good, very catchy, very story's amazing. Like it was done really well. And I wanted to see these pops because the characters are cool. So obviously getting the three girls, Zoe, Rumi, and Mira, all kind of in like a typical like look of them from like early on. And then we also got Jinu, who's one of the main guys. He's essentially is the main guy, but there's a boy band as well, but he's only one of them they have. But there's a chase option of him, which is really cool. Obviously, if you don't know the movie, you won't know exactly what's going on there, but like, trust me, it's awesome. And then even that other character, the Derpy, which glows in the dark, and that scene specifically because it also has a little flower pot next to it. It's very specific to like the part that's hilarious, and it's just really cool. Like they killed it, and this is what's crazy is like the people in Funko, like they can come out with something sometimes, and you're just like, this is so trash. I'm like, why did you make this? Or it looks bad or whatever. But then they'll do stuff, and it's like, they killed this. Like, this is great. This is exactly what we needed. The only thing is, I wish they did chase options of the girls because there's definitely other versions and other things of throughout the movie that like you can see them doing. But I also see them probably milking this and maybe just coming out with another wave. Yes. And it seems like they should because right now it's freaking massive. I mean, no, biggest movie on Netflix history, and the movie came out in theaters after because it was so big. Like that's crazy.
It made more money than certain movies.
K-pop Demon Hunters.
Yeah,
from Netflix.
The question is, are you getting the pops mix?
So, I really haven't been buying pops.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
At all, and you know this, bro. And I bit on a couple Art the Clown pops like a month ago or whatever. And that was actually the last pops I purchased. Obviously, like I showed you guys, I got the Judy Funko Ween one in, but that was clearly from a year ago. But like my daughter obviously seen these, so I know she kind of likes them because she knows the girls and she knows everything. She actually said she wanted to be one of them for Halloween. Just haven't seen the movie. That's how crazy it is.
It's probably
again we saw the first like 20 minutes. Yeah, we saw like 20 minutes, so she knows about it. But I don't know, maybe for her, but my wife would kill me though because she doesn't even have room. Like her shelves are now stocked with like Miniso characters and Rocky Moto characters and things that I've kind of gotten for her. Like I've been collecting through her now because like I don't have my shelves and stuff set up, so now I'm gonna use her little bookshelf to get cool stuff. Right, that's kind of what's been going on. But I don't know, we'll see. They're worth it though. Like if you definitely like this show at all, like these are great, and I think they killed it. I know, like I said, you haven't watched it yet, so you don't know too much about it. But watch this. You need to watch it, even if you watch it on your alone. I don't know. Figure it out. You need to watch.
No, I'm definitely. Well, it's funny because I mean, not that they all need to know about our personal life. Totally, I did the same thing. Try to sit down, watch with my wife and my sons. My 6-year-old was kind of in the beginning was a little like, this isn't for me.
Yeah.
And which if I'm being honest, I was surprised but I know you're saying. I mean, it's also we're adults. It's not scary to us. But I was like, I'm surprised this movie's being pushed to that audience. Like it's
Yeah,
available on the
so
Netflix
I
Kids
think it's being
account.
pushed to a little bit older, 9, 10-year-olds. I
No,
think
I
is
know,
kind of
but
where they're really
okay,
pushing.
okay,
I think our kids are a little young.
yeah,
If I'm being honest, that's kind of. I'm granted, our kids our age know about it. There's know the songs,
yes,
right? But I do think it's more like that 9, 10, kind of almost into the teens. Then obviously adults. That they're probably really pushing to because yeah, Netflix. It'd be different if it was like on Disney, maybe. Then you kind of be
yeah.
like, why, you know? But yeah, it is a
But
little.
we are.
I mean,
I
it's
will be
dark, it's
watching it.
demons and stuff like that, but it's not. It's
Yeah,
not that bad. Yeah, it's a good
but
movie.
yes, I'm disappointed in myself that I have not watched this movie yet.
Yeah, definitely watch it. Very, very good. I definitely would watch it again multiple times. I'm sure. But the music is amazing. I know all the music.
Yeah, see, I've heard the music too. Yeah.
Love the music. But yeah, if you guys are fans, let us know. Because what do you think about this set? If so, because I do feel like everyone that has at least been commenting about this is like pretty hyped up. Stuff has been selling out fast. Everyone's very excited for it. I'm sure there's going to be a ton more stuff come out of it, and they really should do it because
it is funny
out
though.
there. It's big.
One thing too, I want to talk about this because I thought Funko was going to do such a Funko thing, but then they redeemed themselves because they also have a pop yourself option. I thought
bring that up.
when they were teasing that they were coming out with something, that's what it was, and I was like, oh my god, like they really just missed the mark. I think it's kind of cool that they actually came out with pops, and then they also did the pop yourself. Whether you think it's lame or not, it seems like if you're a pretty big fan of the movie, you may want to do the pop yourself. Would you concur?
Yes.
Okay.
So I'm like, I hate the pop yourself, so it's very hard to say. I will say like what they did. I mean, like not trying to like spoil things or whatever, so I'll try to like tread lightly here. But I will say what they did is smart because the whole big thing is like, you know, there's obviously, I'll say this at least. So, there's obviously like two sides. There's the girl group and there's a boy band, and clearly they whatever. So there's fans of both. There's fans of the girl group and there's fans of the boy group. And
like the summer I turned pretty, we'll get that in the algorithm too. You got you got Team Conrad.
Yeah. So like so there is, but it's like crazy fandom. So like imagine like Backstreet Boys and NSYNC or One Direction. Like those super hardcore fans like go to their concerts. They're dressed like them. They got T-shirts like them. Whatever. So like being that it is like the anime-ish Japanese style where it's like over the top and very, the eyes pop out, all that crazy stuff that happens in this movie. They also have this whole like little thing that they hold on to that has like it like lights up and whatever. And that's what's part of the pop yourself. And they have like a symbol that is like the logo of who you're a fan of, essentially. So what's cool about it is that like, okay, if you're a fan of Huntrix, which is like the girl group, you're going to get the one that has a little Huntrix sign, whatever. If you're the fan of the boy band group, you're going to get the boy band one, which I think was Sanji or something like that. I forget the name of it. Okay. So that's kind of like that part of it is like, yeah, it's cool. But it still, to me, just looks kind of lame and cheesy. There's a T-shirt. It's like, it's whatever.
The same, exactly. That they did with the baseball.
But that's because we also really don't like the pop
I
yourself.
get served ads for to get that MLB one like every day on Instagram. God. I'm just like,
no, I don't see that. I will say, I don't want to keep going to rant here because we should be ending, but I will say I do get a lot of ads from Thrilljoy on YouTube specifically. Been really getting fed ads from Thrilljoy, so
which is good.
He spent some money doing that, I guess.
Yeah. So,
but
all right,
yeah. So
we ended on a good note, though, which is good.
Yeah, come on, KPop Demon Hunters on Netflix. If you haven't checked it out, check it out. And we are a KPop channel. No, I was kidding.
We need some help, people here. Come on, we need some subscribers. We need some views.
Imagine we just start getting a bunch of K-pop fans subscribing. Like, what the hell?
Put it in the thumbnail.
But all right, guys. So yeah, that's gonna be it. Thank you to everyone. Make sure you're liking the video like always and subscribing to the channel. Try to let you know all our socials and everything's going on. And yeah, hopefully we get another good week of some good stuff. We'll kind of see what's going on with these things, and maybe we'll get more official news on the whole Droppp thing. So
yeah, as always, you can find us at Collector Chatter and at Collector_Migs and at Collector_Charlie. If you're listening on the podcast platforms, we really appreciate you there. Please leave us a review, give us 5 stars. And if you're listening on Spotify, as always, you can interact with the question of the episode, but then also come on over to the YouTube channel if you haven't already, and subscribe here, like the video, hit the notification bell so you know when new videos come out. And as always, comment. Let us know if there's anything you want us to talk about, because sometimes the news is a little bit slow. Let us know if you want to do you like when we have guests on? Do you want us to have some more guests? We're always open to some new stuff. So just let us know. And also the Apple conference is happening today, so put us in that algorithm as well.
yeah.
So heck yeah. But as always, collecting is the way. Until the next episode. Later.
Peace out.